אוקיי, היי! התחלתי קצת לחזור לבסיס מבחינת המוזיקה שהחלטתי להפעיל פה. זה פשוט קלאסיק. Court is now in session של המשחק הראשון. Because why not? Apollo Justice Trilogy! וואו. אני כל כך לא רוצה לחזור בעצם על אינטרואים, בא לי לעשות כל דבר קצת יותר מקורי, אבל... היי, זה היה דווקא פרק, הנה כן, The Problem with Love, אני זוכר שאני הסתכלתי על זה ספציפית מבחינת achievement'ים. הכל נראה שעובד בסדר, שזה טוב. זה אחד שאני ראיתי, מה שהפתיע אותי באמת זה Birds on the Brain, זה באמת די תפס אותי באמצע של מקום, כשהשגתי את זה. איך זה מטורף? זה מתחיל כבר להסתיים פה. Tricks and deductions, אבל אין זמן כבר. אני רוצה כבר להתחיל את הפרק, כי כבר יותר משבוע אני לא שיחקתי ב-Apollo Justice Trilogy. אומייגאד, אתה צוחק על זה ככה. אני שונא את זה כשזה עושה את זה ככה. whatever. מה שלום כולם? עבר כמה שעות? טכנית? מאז פעם קודמת שאני צילמתי, אבל בערך שבוע וחצי מאז הפרק שאני הגשתי על ה-Apollo Justice Trilogy! אני משתדל לחזור בעצם קצת ליותר אקטיב, כי אני די נטשתי את הערוץ בראשון באפריל. חשבתי על לעשות איזשהו סרטון בנוגע לפרישה מיוטיוב, אבל זה כבר נהיה יותר מדי מוכר, למי שזוכר. אז החלטתי שאני פשוט לא אעלה כלום, מה שפשוט לגמרי שכחתי. actually. אז... כן. בואו נעשה את זה באופן פשוט. אומייגאד. ככה עד 12 בלילה פה? וואו. רגע, הכל בסדר, עברנו הכל. לא היה, אין שום בעיות. הכל נרשמה בסדר. אני די בטוח, נכון? כן, הכל בסדר, הכל נשמע בסדר. אז הגיע הזמן שאני אעשה את האינטרו האמיתי שלי. פעם קודמת ששחקתי במשחק הזה, סיימתי את האינבסטיגיישן שהיה באפיסוד 4. יש כל כך הרבה דברים שאני עדיין מנסה להקל את זה פה, כי עבר כמות לא קטנה של זמן. כן, בוא ניגש על הטרייל, אני מאמין שאני אתרנן אחר כך בלי בעיות. אז... let's fucking do this. אין לי שום דרך אחרת להגיד את זה. אוקיי. אז לפני שאני ניגש לפה. אוקיי. copy that. Finished child friend defended her when she was on trial for the courtroom bombing incident. Okay. Can he be an expo? Okay. נראה לי אולי זה יהיה בהדגשים הכי חשובים כאן, הסטייטמנט של אורה, אורה בלקוול. כן, עוד בלקוול, איזה יופי. אני אצטרך להתרגל בעצם לחזור לוויס אקטינג קצת, כי אני נוטה בעצם לשים לב את זה, שאם אני לא עושה סטרימים כאלה של אייס אטרני וכל זה, אז הוויס אקטינג נהיה יותר חלש. מבחינת accuracy. וזה קצת יותר רלוונטי בשבילי. אז כן, בוא נעשה את זה. ה-20 בדצמבר, 10:15 בבוקר, דסטיקורד, קורטרום מספר 5. אוקיי, שור, בואו ישר נתחיל. Let's go! איפה הג'אדג'? אוקיי. כן, ניגשים לזה. אוקיי. בואי, הרבה זמן עשיתי את זה. I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck or something?
Objection!
Your Honor, could you please come out from under your bench? There are no more bombs, I promise. Oh, yes, my apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. We got a first-hand experience? Seriously? I mean, first the courtroom exploded. Like a telepathy, huh? And then Mr. Tonate self-destructed. Okay, wow. I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tonate. Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tonate's actions. So you and Mr. Wright will be taking up the defense? Do you have an understanding of what has happened at the trial so far? Plus minus. Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? Hey, Blackwell. או יותר מדויק להגיד סיימון, כי יש עכשיו אורה. I take it you would like me to give the opening statement this time? Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Well, he's certainly seen more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors. Oh my god. You could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. Let's see. In the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Terran, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. 2 astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. And how could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. פתרנו את זה, אבל קודם לא. היה חלק של האוקסיג'ן טנק שמופיע בעצם על אחד מזה, מפה מראה שטרן הוא כן זה שהעביר אותו. שטרן היה בחיים. איך הווקטום מגיע למטה? איך הווקטום ירד למטה? Okay, זה קצת יותר complicated. But Mr. Justice provided the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point? Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. ביותר קשה להשוות בין בלקוול לבין ואן זיקס. שניהם פשוט נשמעו אותו הדבר, סורי. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Donner's argument was correct. So, that means the testimonies of the first two people on the scene are suspect. כן, אפילו אני זוכר את זה, יורי קוסמוס ו... קנדיס אורם, אבל קנדיס אורם מתה בגלל טטונייט. אז כל מה שאותו לנו זה יורי קוסמוס. And just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, a courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. That accursed fellow! He killed my witness! He killed Detective Arm! He definitely put Huh? Kibosh? That is a kibosh. He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw. Your kebab? Exactly! In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial. It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues that there was no third person in the lounge, and that's... There was a third person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim.
Objection!
To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man. Or a stupid one. There was no third person in the boarding lounge. Or have you got dirty already, old man?
Objection!
We'll see who's the daughter after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. Wow. In any case, Mr. Stover claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. He saw a third person? Yeah. I see my sister has been running her mouth. That's right. I almost forgot Aura's Prosecutor Blackwell's sister. Ken, Simon of Aura. No matter. She didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. To this end, we shall hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene. Director Cosmos, huh? Very well. Bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand. Hello! Hello! Nagsawan mo sa babaya. Why? I believe I've seen you before in the newspaper. Of course you have! Of course you have! For I am Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was, of course, named after me, Yuri Cosmos! Wow. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me? Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging. 7 years ago, I successfully launched the Hat 1 and... Oh. Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I have tried to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me. So, could you please proceed directly to your important testimony? I says fine young lad has a proper appreciation of greatness. Allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history. That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell's just now. It sounded to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos. It's probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head. Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. בוא, הגאון שלו הולך להרוג אותי. יש סיכוי שאני אשכרה לא יכול לעשות לייב איזה שבוע-שבועיים בגלל הגאון שלי. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and picked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Karen lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. I see. So, in your testimony, you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge, and just after the victim had been killed. Oh, the horror! The humanity! But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my man, I went personally into the epicenter of danger, risking my own life for theirs. Well, what do you know? It sounds like the director really cares about his men. Yeah. Though it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away. Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness? Obviously! Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else. כן, חשבתי על פרס. Towards the launch, you know? We went via the control panel, peeked from there to see what was going on inside. Be operated by detector. Backup power, it's function even top power. Nothing was in the middle of the lounge and Karen was lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine it must have been Starbuck.
Hold it!
So, you couldn't see who that figure was clearly or what they were doing? Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that it was a person standing motionless. A defendant, no doubt. Oh my god! The defendant, no doubt. Staring at his deed. What other explanation is there? So close, without evidence, I can't prove that person's the third party. I don't relish in this, and to say, but I can only imagine it must have been Starbuck.
Hold it!
Aura Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge. But she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly? No, not clearly. The light that was holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Taryn, but I couldn't see who the other person was. So, for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck. Is that correct? I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who's capable of murder.
Objection!
When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct, Great Space Center Director? Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Tara were there by that time. After we peeked in, their lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished. I mean, they disappeared. That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is it's because it was the defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness.
Hold it!
Hold on, Director the Cosmos. Did you ever take your eyes off of the scene? Just for a brief instant. About as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by. You took your eyes off the scene. Then this third person could just have escaped during that time. But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposite of the control room. The servant door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been impossible for to escape that way.
Objection!
Oh my god. They cut the text! All things are possible, right, Donald? The real question is, do you have any proof? Well... Snel אוקיי, מצטער על ה-20 דקות האלה, ממש תודה. איי. טוב, רגע להירגע, זה משהו רציני. יאללה, בוא נמשיך. אני לא יודע אם אני עשיתי את זה, אז אני אעשה את זה עוד פעם, לא אכפת לי. If we're just talking possibilities, we could each profess whatever we would like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and lunar researcher used to say that there is a kingdom of little green men who lived under the surface of the moon. As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it. But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists? He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss. And he's right. I don't have any proof yet. Still, the southern door was a possible escape route. I better make a mental note of that. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Yes? Why did you look away from the boarding lounge? There's actually another tale of bravery behind that answer to that. It was when Detective Arms saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. What? What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure? I imagine her instincts too. As a detective told her they were the killer. I don't know about that. And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun? I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly and then she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure. This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. Yeah? Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots at the figure. Okay. אולי זה הבולט או בולט הול?
Objection!
בולט הול, אוקיי. אני ניחשתי את זה כי זה אמר סינגל. בבולט הול זה אמר סינגל. זה אמר כאן, a single bullet hole was found. אבל אמר 2. Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing? You doubt my words! Words that will someday be written down in the history books! Somehow, I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Mr. Wright, could you explain yourself so that we we can all understand. You say that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene. Okay, Inaza. What? Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet Director Cosmo is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirm that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection!
אז למה יש עוד חור אחד? But there was only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Ah! Oh, okay. Spot? Daka? Jesus. You should know the answer to that already. I should? During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a 38 caliber gun. The same caliber as the detective's gun. What? Okay. אם ככה, אז מה עושה הטנק? מה עושה עם הקליבר 10? אם הרובה באמת היה קליבר 38, אז א', למה זה נגע בטנק של כלי טרן? ו2, למה זה... מה קורה עם הקליבר 10? The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun. Okay. Rifling marks. They're like a gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct? And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from. One of the bullets that the detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots. My beautiful contradiction. Gone. All gone. Nick. So, the bullet hole was from a 38 caliber, huh? I better update the record. Yeah, I get it! Very good. Now we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all of your questions? Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything about what happened at the scene? לא? בגלל שאם היה לו 38, מה עושה 10? No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a 38 caliber gun. But that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a 3rd person. Oh. Very well. But it won't do to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. Okay, אז כן, זה מדבר על הקליבר 10. A piece of evidence suggests that there's a possibility of a 3rd person at the scene.
Take that!
And where is this smell pellet supposed to be? Just a little something of great importance we found at this crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? In the floor gutter at the crime scene. Looks like the police and the prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a 10 caliber bullet. Again, much smaller than one of Detective Arm's 38 calibers. Then that means... Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire 10 caliber bullets. Ugh. Okay, Yofi, perfect. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down to Director Cosmos? It looks like you deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. What's this now? Okay, perfect. What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before. Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know? Foolish old geezer. So, Director Cosmos has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about whatever you really saw. You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom, you are just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. Now, please give accurate testimony. Yofi, let's go. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. And allowed to saw a figure stand in the middle of the room and Terran on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Even that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it. Does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant? Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Detective Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock.
Objection!
Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one, and it is you who is cut down. Huh? Your reasoning could apply if Space Boy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired the 10 caliber gun. Detective R would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to prevent the possibility of a third person. To invent the possibility.
Objection!
But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when Mr. Gunn didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by the police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
Recall the existence of the trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute.
Objection!
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person living with the weapon.
Objection!
It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. No! I did forget all about that. כדתנית נעלם אחרי טטונית. A detonator נעלם אחרי דטונית. Look, your boldness. How deliciously obvious it is that they lack the evidence to rival mine. Oh, he sliced off a person fear into ribbons and served it to us. Just like that. Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. That bullet that hit the mysterious figure's shot. Who did it hit exactly? It hit me. What? Does that mean you're a ghost? I was wondering when you would realize it, your boldness. Director Cosmos is an authentic bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls. Ah! What the fuck? Prosecute Blackwell! Shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman. Your boldness. It was all in jest. Please show yourself again. Are you sure? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos? I'm glad you asked. That was a miracle. A miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet hit my glorious smell of honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus saving my life. Oh. Huh. אז זה אשכרה לא כוכב, זה פשוט במקרה יצא כמו כוכב. אוקיי. What? That's unbelievable. I have to check this out. Oh, wow. Look at that. There's one extra Gaxa star. Gods are literally astronomical. Guess it really was a miracle. Beginning to really feel like the cosmos is watching out for Director Cosmos. But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand. I don't know, but it sounds pretty fishy to me. What else is he hiding? Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out. Now then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Objection!
Okay! Okay. ההיגיון פה שאני חושב עליו, ההיגיון שבו אני חושב עליו, אוקיי. ההיגיון שאני חושב עליו, שאני אסביר פה, זה שאני לא חושב שהיה ריקושי, שכאילו הכדור בעצם קפץ, מיורי קוסמוס אם הוא היה בקונטרול רום, כל הדרך לקצה למטה. Director Cosmos, I believe you are telling this great court a glorious lie. A great man like me tell a lie? Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history? My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door. And the mysterious figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. אוקיי, אז תודה רבה שהולך אשכרה להסביר את זה. מהמיקומים האלה, אני די בטוח שלא יכול להיות שהכדור יורה ככה, ואז נוחת לפה. אמור להיות עוד חורים אם זה כן היה קורה. או שזה בכלל היה קופץ לכיוון אחר. תלוי בפרופורציה. אני אעשה את זה עוד פעם. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door, and the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet will have traveled in this direction. However, we found a 10 caliber bullet here. Oh! זה עוד יותר עליו! זה אשכרה עוד יותר רציני! לא הבנתי את המפה כמו שצריך, אבל אם ככה, אז זה היה יוצא... אוקיי, יש ככה קפיצה פה, ואז... ככה. This trajectory and... trajectory... and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. They're in the cosmos. Where were you really when you were being shot at? Oh my god! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round. Oh my god!
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his metal. אבל זה יוצא שזה עושה 90 מעלות. זה יוצא 180 מעלות. זה לא כזה אפשרי. Of this, there is no mistake.
Objection!
But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency? Of course. I didn't think so. What? Oh, great director Cosmos. Yes? Is there something you'd like me to expound upon? You were, in fact, not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking into the lounge from this door to the south. Is that not right? Okay. Huh. What are you getting at? Use your own brain. Your head must have used some other than housing that bird's nest. Oh yeah. Your head must have some use other than housing that bird's nest. Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick on my hair? Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south. Oh, that makes sense, actually. Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution. Huh? I don't got a bad feeling about this. I'm a body director. If you don't tell the truth this time... Wow! Yikes! His handcuffs! You'll become bad rust upon my sword. I raise the chance to cut down a great man. Alright, I'll know that you just put your sword away. You're correct. Why, the great Yuri Cosmos was looking into the room from the southern door. What? That's the completely opposite of all of the testimonies given so far. And now you have lost your possibility that the third person was in the room. I have? How? דיברנו על זה שהוא יברח מהסלוונדור, אבל זה בלתי אפשרי. The director and the detective were near the Salvador, meaning the killer could have escaped through there. The western door requires pre-recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos's fingerprints. In short, there will be no escape for any third person had there been one. For any third person had there been one. Third person just disappeared. I can well choose his magic tricks. Oh boy. Order! Order in the court! Dr. Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie? You were covering for the defendant. Isn't that right? Yes, it was all for the love of my men. If I said I was at the eastern control room, hoping that the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. It would have meant that there could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was to protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. I convoluted lie. Was he really covering for the defendant? It looks like we've come to a conclusion. In the defense's argument, the possibility of a third person has crumbled. No! It's over. Yikes. Judge is about to hand out his verdict. Think, Phoenix, think! This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If a third person had no way of escaping the scene, then what if the people at the scene was this third person? Wait, what if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmos said that he and Detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, then they would be the third person. Ooh, okay. The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict.
Objection!
Yes, ma'am. Please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility. Oh? Yes, I better be good, Mr. Wright. There is one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene. And that person would be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was only accessible to them. Very well. Let's hear more about this theory. Where is the one person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge? Yuri!
Take that!
What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here? Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door, after all. What that means? Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Director Yuri Cosmos.
What?
What? Okay, perfect.
Order in the court, I say. Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail.
I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective R. And entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that and saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots.
Open it! Open it on the starboard side!
Captain Wright! It's a direct hit at the enemy ship, sir! A magnificent shot!
Warning shots fired from the enemy ship! Prepare to intercept! Cosmos! You have told a lie in this court once again! I'll build it on the port side! The enemy has gone in for reinforcements!
To Cosmos Control Center, requesting permission to ask that you return to reality.
That ship will not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence!
Objection!
But I do have the evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. If Director Cosmos is the third person or a Blackwell saw, Zama Sha'amio Tabayui. Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the 10 caliber gun. With Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Ha! Come on, Alba, huh? Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark that you received from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one in the lounge.
Brace for further impact!
Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge.
Take that!
Conditional. The 38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Cosmos' metal. If we have that ricochet mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a 38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you are the third person we've been looking for.
The bridge is destroyed! Losing altitude! All hands abandon ship!
If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was the 10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. It's alright, Director.
No! You got it all wrong! What? The edges have started again? It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet!
Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth. If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth.
Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Cosmos Space Center? No! But the This was on me!
אומייגאד, זה קשה לעשות את זה.
Someone got me off of this thing!
Oh.
Order? Order in the court! And will someone please stop the witness from spinning?
Wow.
Whew, thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off of this face of the earth.
While he was twirling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the mark of the metal. It was made by a 38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Are you ready to confess the truth, witness?
No, you've got it all wrong! This is just a misunderstanding!
Is he going to start piling on more lies?
Looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. אוקיי, to be continued, לילה יותר קצר, הייתי יכול לעשות את זה 40 דקות אם לא היה לי עיכובים. אז זה העשר של הפרק של היום. אז כן. בוי, איזה כיף זה. כאן היה ירין פגל בסרטון עליו, אבל שאני מקווה שנהנתם. וירין, אאוט. ביי חברים, מקווה שאתם נהנים.